Hey guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, this is going to be one of the first videos that I'm downloading on this channel, my secondary channel, under the new name Staying Clean. I'll go over this quick. I have another slightly more successful channel, about 3,000 subscribers, where I do most of my videos, all my videos. And recently I got a 7-day suspension. The stories are down below in the previous video. And I've come back here to work on this channel and make lemonade from lemons, as they say. And so I got a lot of questions on my other channel about recovery and medically assisted treatment. So I started a series on my other channel called Staying Clean, and it took off pretty well. So I decided to come back here and rename this channel Staying Clean. And I want to do stories on recovery. But I'm looking for stories that will grab people's attention. I know, like in my family, for over two decades, I started out with weed and hallucinogens in high school. I never failed a class in high school. And I ended up being a full-blown heroin addict, heroin and crack cocaine addict by the time I was 40. Using everything every day. Waking up, drinking a half pint of Jaeger just to start. Crack, cocaine, pills, everything. I've been clean and sober for over 15 years, since October 23rd, 2006. All right, so today's video, I came across a story that's ideal that I wanted to talk about this morning, and I can relate to this. There's some key differences, but I can relate to this. Callum von Moger. I hope I'm saying that name right. I'll be honest, I never heard of this guy until this morning, but the story it bothered me. It broke my heart. It reminds me it's got a lot of things that are similar to me, to my story. Okay, Callum von Moger is a former Mr. Universe. This guy is incredibly built body. He's done films apparently with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I guess. A couple films. I think he was working on another one. And he's had some hard times as of late. And I don't want to focus on that. When I first read this story, I knew right away, because I've been there. The story is, I can't get quite straight. He jumped through a second floor plate window and was severely injured. This is a former Mr. Universe, a guy in fantastic shape. And the story just kind of broke this morning. May 10th. I think he's in surgery right now, or was last night, and things are looking questionable. As soon as I saw this, I knew right away the effects of stimulants, the paranoid effects. I went through these exact same things myself. The first thing I want to point out, I've talked about this on my other channel, addicts do not look like they portray on TV. Remember from Taxi? Was it Reverend Jim from Taxi? Man, it's funny because I wondered about that. That guy used to be like a hero of mine. And then I ended up becoming a drug addict, and I wondered if that had anything to do with it. But addicts are in all shape, colors, man, woman, rich, poor. I was in and out of recovery and detoxes over 13 times until I was successful. I've been successful for over the last 15 years, since October 23rd, 2006. And I knew right away, I had a feeling right away, that this guy was on what we call a run. A run is when you usually start using stimulants, and you don't stop. You get more money, you stay high for hours, days, weeks, and it's hard to explain to somebody who's never used drugs. You get in this state, and it happened to me, where I would start hearing noises. You get paranoid. I don't know if they're full-blown hallucinations, but you start imagining things. And at the time, you would swear this is real. This is the cruel part of drugs, of drug addiction. At the time, you would swear everything on your life, because people have a hard time. You're like, why? This guy has to be crazy. Why would he jump through a plate glass window? And I could easily imagine this. Now, Callum von Moger, as I'm looking back, was arrested last month. As soon as I saw this story, I knew it either had to be cocaine, crack, or methamphetamine. He was arrested for methamphetamine over about a month ago, I think it was, in this road rage incident, which kind of sounds a lot something that is common amongst people that abuse stimulants. Now, this guy, this is somebody too that people would look at and say he's got the world. He's in this crazy good shape. He's in movies. Why would somebody ever do this? Let me try to just briefly explain it to you guys. With me, it was being shy. Believe it or not. I remember going when it very first started with cocaine. I remember going to a party, and I didn't even have it. Somebody gave me a little cocaine, and I became the life of the party. I remember a girl actually asked for my phone number, best looking girl at the party, because she liked my personality, and that wasn't even the real me. It was one of the first times I ever used cocaine, and for me, cocaine filled this little shyness, this little, what I thought was a flaw in my personality. Since I've been clean and sober, I've just embraced who I am. I love who I am. But back then, when I tried it that one time, I used it because it filled this little thing that I was insecure about. As far as Colin Van Moger, I've been reading up over the last couple hours, and he's had situations with his family, with a relationship, and who's to say? I don't know what's, like I said, I didn't even know this guy before today, but I'm willing to bet it was something, probably maybe something for energy, because this guy's got a rigorous day, and you try it one time and it works, and whenever people first get into addiction, they tell themselves, I'm different. I'm not like other addicts. I'm strong. I can handle this. I've got willpower. I'm not an addict. I'm willing to bet every addict in existence today has said those words. It's people like Colin Van Moger. And it's almost evil the way these L drugs work to weave themselves into your life. Like I said, you use it one day and it works good for something that you're having problems with. With me, it was shyness. With him, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was trying to keep up the energy level to do everything he needed to do. That's just a guess. And it worked. And the scary thing is, people say drugs don't work. The scary thing is they do work. And that's what gets you addicted. And then, you do it a couple times at certain times of the day, and it starts to weave itself into your regular, your daily program. And before you know it, it's become part of your life. Then it becomes all of your life. And like I said, I remember as soon as I saw this story, I remember with me, it was crack cocaine. In this particular area of the country, in America, for anybody who's watching this, Connecticut in America, there is no methamphetamine in the state of Connecticut. I don't know why. I'll do another video on that. You could do a search, methamphetamine in Connecticut, and you won't find anything. Here, it's crack. And I remember at night sitting, this would happen almost every time, sitting alone in my bedroom, and I would swear, I would freeze and not move and listen. And the next day, all my muscles ached so badly because I would stay frozen in that position trying to listen for an imaginary sound. This happened every single time I used. Seriously. And I would swear, this time, there's somebody really there. And I would, I wait, and I would just freeze for hours, or I would just stop to quickly use my substance, and then I go back to listening. And when I look back, I see the insanity in this. I was paying money. I was throwing my life away for this. People call it partying. Once the addiction takes hold, it's anything but partying. It is a living nightmare. So I don't know what Colin Van Moger was running from, but I'm willing to bet that it was probably I'm willing to bet it was methamphetamine, probably what we call a run over several days. And the longer you use it without sleep, without eating, these imaginary things become so much more real. And I guarantee you that whatever he believed he was running from or to was very real to him right at that moment. I'm sure people that have never used have a hard time seeing this. It must have been an accident, or somebody must have pushed him, and that's always a possibility. But if you've gone through addiction, you get what I'm saying. This is the evilness, the terrible thing about addiction. The funny thing is, not funny, but I got into recovery. I weighed 100 pounds more than I do right now. All my teeth were missing. I started with a 15-minute walk, and then it expanded to using a couple weights, and then going to the gym. And now it's become my new addiction, my new focus of my life. I actually work out. I'm almost embarrassed to say this, for about 4 hours every single day for the last 15 years. Every single day, 4 hours. And it's made me, it's replaced what I thought drugs were providing me. Now, with Colin von Moger, he had this, he had physical, he had the body, but there was something else that was probably lacking, something missing in his life. And I'm just guessing here. And you just use one of these drugs one time, and it seems they work. It seems to provide a solution, and then before you know it, it becomes part of your routine. So, as far as I could tell, he was in intensive care. He's in intensive care now. From what I've read, he was unable to walk with more than likely a spinal injury after going through this plate window. And the prognosis didn't look good. I don't want to say anything more than that. My true heartfelt prayers and best wishes go out to Colin von Moger, his friends, his family. And I pray that he can walk again, that he recovers fully from this. And hey, if there's anything I can ever do, if he ever sees this video, reach out to me. It's not just you. All addicts think they're different, and I've learned when you're in recovery, you learn that we're way more than we're all alike almost. The way this disease progresses. So my best heartfelt wishes and prayers go out to Colin von Moger, his friends, his family, and his fans. I hope you get better soon. All right, you guys have a good Wednesday.